Before we begin,
Make sure to check out a YouTube channel run by a British expat in Warsaw, making content about different places in Poland. If you want to explore Poland's beauty and learn more about the country, this channel may be a good choice for you. Brit in Poland. Link in the description.
enjoy watching.
Summer is undoubtedly a good season to take a trip around Poland, so I went on my second trip to Białowieża Forest in group, this time for more than a simple walk around. It usually takes nearly 3.5 hours to reach Białowieża Forest by bus. So we're having 15 minutes break in the middle of the road. This will be the second time when I go to Białowieża, like 3 years ago when the convit was up to date. It will be quite different experience from the previous time, especially because we will be going to the restricted zone. You know what to do, and let's go ahead. We had a 15-minute break for those who wanted to go to toilet and or buy snacks. So basically we were driving at this fragment of the road when suddenly tire exploded. So the bus is currently having tire replaced. Despite our 30-minute delay due to road accident, we managed to reach our first destination, Rezerwat Żubrów, or the Bison Reserve in English. A regular ticket there is worth 20 zlotys, while a reduced one is worth 12 zlotys. We purchased tickets online in advance.
Żubr, European bison. Żubr, hybrids of European bison and domestic cattle.
At my first glance, the reserve seemed to be silent. Okay, the first living creatures are here. So the first impression of the Bison Park is something between zoo and national park. So I expected to see animals like bisons that I've seen just now. It would be cool to see them in real life, in their natural habitat. Okay, this guy seems to be lonely at this terrace. I'm just showing you that it's a big and he is alone, eating the grass that will grow again later. So basically the enclosures in the national park turned out to be larger than I imagined, but it doesn't mean that they do not make sense in terms of the view, but rather they make sense in terms of nature. The reserve doesn't only show animals, but it also describes their natural features. The rain today is quite huge now, so I needed to protect. Imagine like walking without umbrella. That would be like in St. Petersburg, lol. Okay, I think I found them.
Oh, I used to give them a fish when I went on the mountain in Thailand, and when they come out for snack, we give them like a fish stick.
And it's a male and a female?
This one is so fat,
Yes, it is. Yeah.
well nutrited.
Oh my god, it's me in my 60s.
Oh, they're
It's
beautiful.
massive.
And as you can see, the bison is well kept. They have brushes for washing and the water cup for drinking. Good boy. It looks like horse to some extent. Moose ass. That guy in the background simply spoke it, and that was hilarious. Sometimes it's easy to confuse stones and natural objects with animals, because I thought that this one is a big moose sleeping, whereas in fact these are only stones grabbed like this. Oh, here's the moose eating now, so it will be worth it to wish smacznego. Wait, is a frog? I really heard that frogs were quacking. I swear there should be at least one frog in this side. Not like quack. It's logical that I cannot catch them on the frame because I'm sitting far away and they're not as huge as possible. I don't know why trails are covered with this white thing, and I don't know what that white thing is. I was afraid of stepping on it with my boot because otherwise it will be dirty for me and I would have to wipe it on the grass somewhere outside. And another couple.
So this has been the Bison Reserve. Time to move on and then have a lunch.
So this guy was surprised why are the trees being cut. If you know why, feel free to comment. In the meantime, I believe that these are dead trees which should be cut in order to protect the environment and let the newest one grow. And here comes the wooden trail. When wood is on the ground, you're walking on it. To some extent reminds me of jungles and also reminds me of Zakopane, where I use it to avoid slippery walking close to the fence. But because it's already summer, not the winter, it's not a problem for me to walk without additional equipment. Wooden trail.
We went down the wooden trail surrounded by local nature. Its views were picturesque. For me, it was similar to some extent to walking through jungles. We were vastly exhausted when we reached the end of the wooden trail, pointing to the country road.
There it is. Okay, so we are out of the wooden trail. However, it's been only a part of the road to Białowieża, because just take a look at this. It looks like we need to go up to 6 kilometers, if not less, to reach our destination and meet other people.
Even from that distance, I could already recognize the place I'd been to before. Some of the signs are in both Polish and Russian. For example, Музей зодчества русского населения Podляша, because the Białowieża Forest is located between Poland and Belarus. In 15 minutes, we met at Pokusa restaurant for lunch break. I ate from my lunchbox before I proceeded to taste the offered menu for 60 zlotys in total, including desserts. The soup, the meat dish and a piece of cake were served. From beverages, water and so-called nalewka or a homemade liqueur were offered. I personally liked the soup and the piece of cake from the offer, and I didn't hesitate to drink nalewka too. Everything was delicious.
So, to remind, this is where I've been for the first time. Still remember the sign. Yeah.
The next and last phase of our trip was the tour guide across the protected zone. We walked 30 minutes to the meeting point. There were tour guides in English, Polish and one in German. I wanted to join the German one, but it wasn't possible. Instead, we had a tour guide in both Polish and English.
No i to, że była miejscem polowań królów polskich, to jest główna przyczyna. Zdarza się co 3-4 lata,
I primarily thought that in the restricted zone you cannot take photos or videos, obviously because it's restricted. However, I found out at the stand of the entrance that restricted zone means you can go there with tour guide and you cannot do activities that could damage the natural environment. So basically, visit of the restricted zone is welcome. And you will see how it looks like.
The protected zone starts with the wooden gate with information stand left to it. The tour guide sign is in 6 languages, including Russian at the bottom.
18% to jest Białowieski Park.
The tour guide said that after the Second World War, the border of the Białowieża National Park and Białowieża Forest have been shifted, divided between Poland and Belarus till nowadays, or between Poland and Belarus if suitable. Another group of tour guide can be seen just few tenths steps away from us. Our group. And here comes another group. We got close to each other. According to the tour guide, in this place 200 Polish people were killed by German soldiers during the Second World War. What a big orange mushroom on the tree. I can't believe it. Oh, I think you'll recognize this.
This line has the attention from those trees that you see, like in parks, or in open areas, because in here you see that they have.
And I'm not alone.
Straight trunks because they have to focus on walking.
So this is our group, another one, and all of a sudden, just over there, the third one.
And
We must have gone closer to each other.
I have roaming services on.
Obok leży pień, jeszcze drugi dom. I tutaj proszę zobaczyć,
and this is
jeszcze dęby są.
This is linden. Down.
Looks creepy, like death metal cover. These leaves, because they are semi-green, semi-yellow, they look like bananas. Or mangoes. But I would rather say they look rather like mangoes, rather than bananas.
Because living part is.
For those who
is
were
located
asking whether
here.
the trees are hollow inside, the answer
even
is
though
here.
They are hollow inside, they can still grow and live.
Okay, okay.
Would there be a good reverb effect, by the way?
Był wykorzystywany
These mushrooms look like pizzas.
środek leczniczy,
If I could cut and eat them.
kiedyś, nie teraz,
But it's reminded, through this zone, I cannot even touch it. Łukasz simply did that, pretending to eat it.
Make the bleeding
Whereas
stop
this
and
one looked
also,
rather like either burnt or
I don't
from
remember that
hell.
one. Yeah.
yeah.
But I got.
Another wooden trail with handrails is constructed to facilitate walking, creating impression as if you are on exhibition. The view on nature is spectacular from this side. The guided tour through the protected zone ended up at the starting point, inclusively due to time constraints. We gradually got through the gate and went back to the meeting point where our overall trip finished. It was interesting to hear the guide talking about the flora of the protected zone while feeling the natural atmosphere when being in a group. Our trip had come to an end, so it was time to return to Warsaw. We went through the museum zone towards our bus, and when everybody returned, we departed at 8:40 p.m. Being tired in the end, I enjoyed the twilight evening along with the reflected green backlight in the bus. Because it was a long road, we were watching the Jumanji movie. Overall, it had been exhausting, but still an interesting trip, and I was glad to visit Białowieża Forest for the second time and even to walk around its protected zone. We arrived in Warsaw at 1:20 a.m.
And this is how the trip to Białowieża finishes. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on all notifications so that you could stay in touch with me. Also hit the like to this video and I see you next time. Bye!